Hello and welcome to the HCR2 Community Podcast. Look at me. I am the podcast host now. Hey guys.
Hello. I'm Juanito from Team Reddit.
Hulkster from USA.
Welcome, my wonderful co-hosts.
Thank you. I'm
thank
glad
you.
you're the one hosting this time around. You have more experience than we do.
No. I defer. Thanks for having me back on the podcast, guys.
Wow,
Thank
this
you
is
for
a
coming.
very special one. Very special.
Yeah, I mean, just for reference for everybody, me and Hulk are literally like pissing our pants like little kids right now. Quite literally.
This is a big episode.
Should I have brought adult diapers?
Yes.
Oh no, don't worry. I bought before the episode started.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I came prepared. Well, I really don't know where to get started with this.
Let's get started
Rhys,
with
how did we get to this point?
Yeah, this is a Real Talk episode. It's kind of a surprise. But there is a major announcement going to happen in this episode, and that's where we can start. So, Rhys, would you like to give us a little bit of information as to what this podcast will be about?
No.
Sorry.
I'm just teasing everyone. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for coming.
That's
Bye.
a wrap. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe. Sorry, I'm just feeling the vibe. Everyone's a bit excited and giggly, so it's hard to be serious. But yeah, we do have an announcement to make. I suppose this is starting to sound like I'm a YouTuber who's about to tell you that I got a girlfriend or something, but no, we have a brand new feature coming out. Can you guys guess what that is?
Feature? I guess what that is. Is it
No, it's new skins. New skins,
Yeah.
right?
Guilty as charged. We do have some fantastic new skins coming out this Friday. The Doc Shocks skin,
nice? That's
in
it.
combination with the awesome new Doc Shocks hot rod, which I'm a big fan of. You guys are going to want to pick that up.
Oh,
Okay.
I saw it from Io's video.
It's great.
It looks pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Oh, is it to do with the adventure update? We talked about last episode.
There is an update to Adventure. Actually, big
How about-
announcement.
How about anti-cheat software update?
There's definitely some new anti-cheat software as
Yes.
well added to this update. I have so many announcements, but you still haven't quite gotten to the meat of it. We're still eating potatoes right now.
I mean,
Well,
is it to
for-
do
for
with
about-
leagues?
Leagues? I've never heard that word before.
For about 2 years now, we've been hearing leagues are coming.
Well, we weren't lying.
We're cautiously optimistic on this call.
You got me. Leagues are coming.
Leagues are coming. Let's go.
But wait. This week.
Oh, geez.
This week, do you want to give us
week.
a date?
I can. The release date at the point of speaking, because I have to say this because these release dates are fluid and could literally change an hour before release. But the beginning of the rollout is targeted for the 22nd of this month.
Wow.
So 22nd of April, leagues are officially here.
So
Basically.
less than 10 days away.
Yeah, well, yes, basically.
As of
coming
the
up
recording,
very,
I guess.
very soon. I'm not sure when we're going to put this podcast out, but yeah,
Yeah.
22nd. It's a Thursday. So set your calendars. Although don't get too excited because when Leagues first rolls out, it's actually going to be not that exciting for you guys because you're going to have to wait until the 28th for the global rollout to be complete. And then you're going to have to wait for matchmaking to be rolled over into Leagues. But
Whoa, okay, wait. This is way too much information. We need to
Yeah.
go step by step.
Yes.
yes,
Let's
yes,
take it back. So the initial launch is the 22nd.
Yes. The
And
rollout.
that's good. So is there going to be like beta teams or
No.
No.
So For those who don't understand or don't know how we and basically every mobile game development company do updates, is basically we do something called a staged rollout. And what that means is that the update is rolled out in stages. So at the beginning, we might roll it out to, and these are all just hypothetical numbers, by the way, but we might roll it out to, say, 1% of everybody who plays the game. And if you're in that randomly chosen 1%, we don't have any control over that. It's Google or Apple who handles that. And so you get the update first. And this small section allows us to make sure that everything's working, because we test the game internally, and we have half a dozen people in QA, for example, who will go over something and they're like, yeah, we got this to work like 200 times. And we're like, perfect, 200 times. That sounds good. And then we roll the update out to like 200,000 people, and they're like, yeah, it's broken. So you have to be careful. This is something that happens in all of game development. That's why games have beta tests and alpha tests and that kind of boring stuff. But anyway, so the update starts rolling out to a select amount of people on the first day, the 22nd, and then if everything's cool by the 23rd, we'll increase the percentage. So then it might go from 1% to 5%, and then on the 24th, it's looking good. We might crank it up to 25%, and then on the global release day, we will increase it to 100% rollout. And then that's basically just pushed to absolutely everyone who has the game. But even then, there is always a chance of a slight delay because we don't control Apple or Google. So what appears in your storefront might actually be delayed by all kinds of weird and wacky reasons. But basically, the game will be out for everybody on the 28th.
All right, so two things based on this. So the update will come out in over time for people. So once the update is out, the first thing is, will it change the game in any way for anybody that has the update? Like, what is going to be once they open the game and they get the update? What are they going to be able to see?
I'm not sure entirely how it's going to work for everybody, but I don't know if this happens by default or if when you actually go over to your team. But basically, there's a pop-up little tutorial that will sort of walk you through what leagues are. And at some point, I think it's basically at the beginning of the rollout. Don't fully quote me here. I know I shouldn't be saying don't quote me because I'm the guy you're actually supposed to ask for quotes. But at some point, and I do believe it's the beginning of the rollout, we're going to pause matchmaking. So everybody who's in a match will be able to play that match. We won't cancel your match, halfway through. So at some point we will drop a hammer, and it's this is the cutoff point, and all the matches that are currently running will play out, and then there'll be when they're done, there'll be a small break when no one will be able to play teams, because then we need to basically change the entire server structure. We need to make sure the game works. The leagues, it switches over from a normal leaderboard to leagues. And then after that grace period, matchmaking will be turned back on, and everybody will be able to start playing.
Okay, so we're getting into more stuff. So now, is there going to be any change to the current leaderboard that we have, or is there going to be a separate leaderboard for leagues? So, because then we get into, is there going to be divisions or that type of stuff?
The answer to everything you asked is basically yes. So you're going to have to be more specific.
Okay, so let's start with...
let's start with this question. So based on the current leaderboards where you have Reddit number 1, I think USA is number 8, will that influence league number 1 or division number 1 or how the initial pool of teams are going to be pooled together?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, next question is, what are the divisions and how are they structured? Who is, I don't know, in the highest division, and then how do you go down from there, and how do you go into the next division, the higher, the one above you or whatever? All
right, so there is currently 8 divisions. There's divisions 1 through 7, and then the 8th division, which is the highest, which is the Canyon Champions. And by the way, we're not just calling it leagues; it's the Climb Canyon League. Got to be on brand.
Okay.
And so
nice.
the top team, the top bracket is the Canyon Champions, and you want to be in the Canyon Champions for reasons we can discuss later. Not just for the swag of being in the Climb Canyon Champions, but it's better for you to be higher. But basically, there's the 7 normal divisions and then the top one. And what happens is basically, how can I have to sort of back myself up and make sure I explain this clearly. The game is divided into seasons, as it always has been. But now the seasons, like the monthly seasons that sort of govern the trophy road and everything, will also be inherently attached to the Climb Canyon division, the Climb Canyon League. And at the end of the month, the division will be recalculated. The league will be reset. Not reset like to 0, but like, recalculated. So each team's position and division ranking is based on their performance and their score within the match. Basically, points for the leaderboard are accumulated based on your total team score. So even a losing team gets points for playing a match. So actively avoiding high-ranking teams will actually be a detriment to your positioning. If you don't play, you will drop. So you shouldn't see any more of this leaderboard wars and dodging other teams. It doesn't matter so much if you lose. It does matter if you win, but like I said, losing teams still will have a really high position. So you might see the most incredible team gets 100 points, and then the losing team who played them, they lost, but they still got 98 points. So that's still a lot of that's just a hypothetical. Obviously, it's like 40K. I think we still use the 40K method for now, at least. And so what happens is at the end of the month, all the teams are calculated, and the team scores are calculated, and you go either up, down, or you stay in the division you're in. And then you're also rewarded at the end of the season. So you get different tiers of rewards based on your positioning in that season.
Okay, and quick question.
Okay, how will you figure out who is in division 1 through 7 on day 1?
I do believe that it's going to just be based on the current leaderboard positions, but that's only going to be for the first month, and you will basically see everything sort of start to shuffle after that. I am almost certain. Okay, I don't think we're just going to make everybody go from 0 at the beginning.
Okay.
So that would be kind of mean, right? Like the guys on the top, they earned that position.
How many teams per division?
That's what I was going to ask.
That is a big question. I should have that written down here, actually. Let me see. I have some questions that I was sort of anticipating you guys would ask.
We have a ton.
Yeah, I know, but this is like one of those technical questions. Just a second. Got to scroll up through all of this. I was like, these guys are going to ask everything. Okay, so
we do have lots of questions.
They're not even. As you might expect, it's structured like a pyramid. So the world champions, the Canyon champions, the guys in the top division, that's the top 100 teams.
Okay.
And then Division 1 is the top 500 teams.
Okay.
Then Division 2, top 2,000. Division 3, top 4,000. Division 4, top 8,000. And then Division 5, top 1,600. Division 6, top 3,200. And Division 7, everyone else.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it's tiered fairly well. And basically how it works is that when the thing ends, like a percentage, like for example, the bottom 50 in the world champions will be dropped to Division 1 if you don't perform well. And then the top 50 for Division 1 who outperform them will be moved up to the world champions.
Okay.
It's different. It's differently calculated for everybody's, like for every bracket, sort of make it a fun and progressive climb for everyone.
Yeah.
And is the team scoring, is it just your team performance, or is there additional ways of calculating your overall stats by KMs run or anything like that, or is this just team performance?
Just team performance, at least in the beginning.
Great.
And inactive teams are going to drop positions every month, and also like your team will. Wait, no, I already said that. Yeah, your team will be rewarded based on the bracket you're in. So the better you do, the more stuff you get.
Is there any? Can you tell us about those rewards, or is that still a little bit hidden?
I can tell you about. Okay, so let me tell you why you want to be the Canyon champions. That's 1.5 million coins and 400 gems, plus more in the future.
Wow.
That's what everybody will get.
That's a lot.
Yep, and we want to make it worthwhile. You also get like a cool bracket like around your team, so people can actually see that you're the number one team in the world if they look at you.
That's really cool.
Looks really cool. So yeah, your badge borders will change depending on your division as well. So you
awesome.
Can be easily identified.
Okay, and you mentioned all about like the matchmaking side of things. I want to know a little bit more about that. Is there going to be a change in the way it works as of today? Like, are we still going to be able to, like, do we decide when we start a match, or is it going to be automatic?
No, it's still always going to be the same as before in that the leader and co-leader need to start the matchmaking.
Okay, and in terms of that...
I like it.
Yeah, I like that as well. But in terms of that, is there going to be a change in the way teams are matched? Because, for example, you mentioned, I don't know, let's say the highest division. What's it called again? Sorry, the Canyoneer Champions?
The Canyon Champions. Yes.
So let's say in the Canyon Champions. So you have the top 100 teams. So then, okay, it's the same as it is now. But you say if you avoid teams, you're going to lose points. So correct. I guess, I mean, off the top of my head, I can just figure out that the more you play, the more points you get.
Correct. Like I said,
so
we wanted to depenalize. Like the system right now sort of heavily favors avoiding playing the game because you don't want to lose your crowns. You know, you don't want to lose your trophies. You go down. I was thinking in Clash Royale there. So like. Basically, we want to encourage playing and we want to encourage participation and we want to encourage the top teams to actually have a good, honest fight. And so, like I said, your position will be your end of season performance is based on your cumulative score, not based on your win-lose ratio. So even if you win, you'll still be in that bracket. And when you're in a bracket, basically you're matched against another team in that same division bracket. So people in Division 4 cannot be matched against people in Division 1. People in Division 4 are matched against people in Division 4. And there's obviously a little bit of like skill-based sort of like approximation matchmaking, you know, so just because you're both in Division 4 doesn't mean that the system won't prioritize like a team of 10 being matched against a team of 50. That's not fair. So there's obviously like a little back end, you know, back and forth to try and make the matches as fair as possible. And one thing that is interesting that I know you'll like is that the same two teams cannot be matched against each other more than once during the same season.
Ooh, I like that. That's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, so if we go hunting for Germany or North or Reddit every 2 days, just because they might be the top team, we're going to lose every time to those teams, but we could still win almost as many trophies as them. So if you're a rank 98 team and you keep matching against the top teams, you might jump the leaderboards over somebody that's in the middle of that pack, not matching a top team.
Kind of. It's like it depends how well you do. If you're at the bottom of a bracket and you guys get like 40K every single time, you can expect to see yourself skyrocket to the top of that bracket, at least relevant to your peers in the same bracket. You'll probably be promoted actually out of that bracket into a higher one. And yeah, you cannot match, like you can't go hunting to teams anymore. Like you can snipe them once. So if Team USA matches up with Team North, you play them once in a season. You won't ever be able to match them again in that same
entire
season.
Okay, so so this also goes then to how many matches could you, theoretically speaking, play in a season?
I'm not sure. Basically the same as you can now. How many can you play now, theoretically?
I mean, in
It's
a
like-
month?
You
I mean,
play
it's one per every 2 days.
2 days. So
One every 2 days.
15,
Yeah.
14,
15.
15 matches.
Yeah. So as far as I'm aware, that's not changed.
Okay, so then that means like in the top division, out of the top 100 teams, let's say as Reddit, we will only play a total of 15 teams in that season.
Yeah, and they should all be different.
Oh, okay. That is really interesting, actually.
So it encourages you to always do your best, to always be on your toes, because you don't know who you're going up against, and it should allow for a lot more diversity in matchmaking, and should take away this awful metagame that's sort of developed around exploiting who you match and win.
Yes. So question, if there's only 100 teams in the top division, each team cannot match the other team more than once. Are there going to be significant delays in matchmaking? So if someone presses the button, we could be going a day without a match, potentially.
I don't believe so, no. I
Okay.
mean, 100 teams is still 100 teams. That's a lot of matches, and I assume people in the top 100 are going to be very eager to immediately hit that hit that thing and start going again, because they want to get as many points as possible. And also, you have to remember that this isn't really designed to be top heavy. Like, obviously, we are focusing on like the top the gameplay of the people in the top 100, but it also has to make sense for the other hundreds and hundreds of millions of people playing this game as well. And if you actually start again, and all new teams begin in the bottom division, regardless of who's in the team.
Okay. Because I was also going to ask, even though it's still the same type of matchmaking system, let's say, for example, a team was to be on a winning streak, for example. Will they be more likely to match another team that's also on a winning streak within that same division?
I'm not sure exactly, because I'm not sure of the exact parameters for the matchmaking within the bracket, but I do know that it tries to match you against teams that it thinks you will have a tough time against. Not like teams that will give you a whooping, but teams that should challenge you, teams that should push you, because that's always been how it's meant to work. But when you start gamifying the matchmaking algorithm, it's an algorithm, and it's possible to gamify, so you sort of break it. But it should be better now. It'll basically make sniping other teams pointless.
All right, because I'm still, this is why I'm trying to get it as clear as possible, because I'm still a little bit concerned in terms of, you say it's not worth, as you said, like sniping other teams because you'll be wasting time. Avoiding teams where it's more detrimental in losing points rather than playing where you can lose and still gain more points. But still, even if it meant, I don't know, an hour difference, let's say, as for myself, like I'm in Team Reddit, and at the same time that we're playing, somebody like, I don't know, Unity is playing, and that very same period, they're playing some top 50 team. I could very well wait, I don't know, an hour, 30 minutes, knowing that Unity matched, and play the team they played if they are gonna, I don't know, insta match. So I still feel like there could be that part where you can play with the matchmaking system to the point where you can give yourself that advantage of guaranteeing yourself a win and not having to wait too long.
Well, it really depends who you matched against. You shouldn't really be able to guarantee yourself a win if you're playing against people in the same bracket as you, because they're more or less guaranteed to be fairly close to your own skill level. Although I do understand that, like the top 10 are the top 10, and they're pretty frightening. They don't lose very often. But yeah, it's like, it's still, of course, possible. There will always be these kinds of loopholes. It just depends on how crazy you are about like paying attention to absolutely everything.
You'd be surprised.
I'm not surprised. Never.
So the reward system. So there is a hypothetical situation. Team Reddit, who's ranked number 1, goes into the top league. I would imagine there's potentially a team that should be in the top 10 if they didn't get reset, or if they didn't have their team trophies reset and they have to go to a lower team that's now ranked 40 or 50, but their skill is still there. Are they going to make out big time in the top division because they are theoretically underranked?
Well, I mean, they're definitely going to give some of the lower ranked teams a bit of a bad day. But I mean, that's just smurfing, right? Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
If you make a new account, that's the new account. But you're still going to go out there and make the noobs cry. You really shouldn't do that. I do know it's fun in a kind of sadistic way, but that's kind of mean. But anyway, that's completely unavoidable. But the issue is, or the thing is, just say we reset your team. Right? You should be in the top 10. But now you should be in Canyon Champions. But now
yes,
you're Division 7. You might win every single match. You can play 15, let's say. So you play 15 matches. You win them all. Kind of boring. And you don't get much in the way of a reward because you're Division 7. So
now what if you were, ranked in the top 20, your team gets reset and you go to a backup team or a team number 2?
Well, he did say
in
that
the top division.
Abandoned teams will be losing rank anyways.
Exactly. You cannot make a team hold position anymore. If your team doesn't play and doesn't score, it drops. Because at the end of every season, points are calculated, and the bottom, like in the top 100, the bottom 50, they go down, and the top 50, they go up. So there will always be churn. Like, you can't avoid the churn. You need to play. You need to swim or you'll sink, basically. So there will be no second teams unless those second teams are actively maintained, and then quite honestly, they deserve whatever position they have.
Okay.
So
we can't stop people from moving around. Like I know a lot of you guys in the top teams really don't like this, but you got to sort of see it from our perspective in that if you choose to move to another team, that's on you. If your team was reset and you choose instead to go, and you weren't banned, which means as far as we know you weren't cheating. If you choose to join some other team, well, that's your decision. That's not really anything that we have any intention of stopping. It's just moving teams as far as we're concerned.
You can choose. You could potentially match your second team, your own second team.
Right, and if your own second team isn't playing, it's kind of a catch-22. If there's Reddit and there's Reddit 2, and Reddit 2 gives Reddit a whooping, Reddit might drop down a division and have the second team take their place. Or if they whoop their second team, they very well might drop their team a division. And you don't always fall one division. You can fall multiple, depending on how terrible or how well you do.
That's what I was going to ask. So at the end of the season, could you jump multiple divisions at the end, or is it only like one by one?
Multiple. You can move up twice. You can move up 2 divisions at the max.
Divisions. Okay.
Is there going to be an option to do friendly challenges?
Not at this stage, but it is something that we are definitely talking about.
Okay.
I actually would like to stress that this is like the beginning of the leagues, right? So this is like team modes season 2, So
still very early.
Everything that you see here is a work in progress. Like it's the baby step, the first draft. So you look at the rewards. You might say, "Oh, that's missing X and Y," and like there's no reason that X and Y won't be added to said rewards. Or you're thinking like this feature is underdeveloped. Well, that might get added later on as well. So there's still a lot coming. You got to remember that, like I said, this is like the baby steps. So yeah, hopefully you guys. I'd have to hope. I know that you guys will share your opinions with me on the internet. So in not so many flowery words, but all of that information will be given back to the devs, and then they will continue to develop leagues moving forward, and hopefully together all of us can make something really cool.
Okay. So just going back to the rewards, could you tell us the rewards that you get for every division?
I could, but I won't.
Damn it.
Also, your position within that division, because that's tracked, will also dictate. Like I can tell you, the Canyon Champions right now, they get between. If your team is in the Canyon Champions bracket, the top bracket, you get between 1 million and 1.5 million coins, depending on where your team is.
Your team or each individual player?
Each individual player will get those. Will get exactly that. So if your team is at the very bottom of the Canyon Champions, like sitting right at the bottom, each and every person in the team will get 1 million coins. And
I need to talk to you about where my ult might need to go. We'll talk offline. Sorry, man.
Sure. Let me know. I'm always recruiting.
We have been paying attention to ways people might manipulate this, so don't try and be naughty boys. It won't work.
Already trying to find exploits, Hulk.
Yeah,
what is wrong with you?
Don't worry, we expect it. And yeah, so if you're at the very top, then the maximum amount of rewards so far, at least, is 1.5 million coins. And then there's also gems. Like you get 400 gems at the top, and if you're at the very bottom, you'll get 200. So if you're halfway, you get like 300 gems, and 1.25 million coins. That kind of thing. And these kinds of rewards are bracketed quite generously.
So there's Division 7, which is the top 100 teams as it sits today.
No, it's the other way around. Division 7 is the lowest team, and then it goes 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then above 1 is the Canyon Champions.
Okay, how do you get from 1 to the Canyon Champions bracket?
By doing really well. Or
do you mean well in the season?
So after season 1, there will be the Kenyan Champions bracket, which is going to be the top 10
Top
teams?
100.
Top 100. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Also,
the Kenyan Champions will be like starting in the second season, I would imagine.
No, I believe that they're going to be in the first. I'm not entirely sure, but I do believe so. But what will happen at the end of the first season is the bottom 50 teams in the World Champions have a very good chance of being dropped to Division 1. And the top 50, that's the top 10% of Division 1, have a very good chance of being moved up to the World Champions. So if you're not doing as good as you could be, if you're slacking off, you're going to drop down a division, and then another team is going to take your place. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very rewarding as it is in punishing you for doing well, because 50 teams. I mean, that's half the division at the top, basically.
Well, it's not necessarily half the division is going to be dropped, but they have the potential to.
I mean, up to, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's not like grind or die. You don't have to. It's like you guys are already playing, right? The top 100 should be the most competitive 100 teams of people in the entire game. It shouldn't be the people who've been grinding away the longest, or hoarding trophies the longest, or avoiding matchmaking the longest. And that's also why we wanted it to be based on your actual performance. So like I said, you might get a score of 40k, and you might play a team who gets 40k, perfect score, and then your team gets 35k, which still might be a great score, but you lost, you came second. So in the current system, that's like a loss, and it's like, well, GG, down you go, But in this one, it's like, well, that's still a hell of a lot of points, right? So you might still have outscored every single other team in the division beneath you, so you won't drop. But if you guys just throw a match and don't score at all, don't even participate, or do really, really terribly, then you're going to drop down. And what you'll see is basically the most active teams will start to actually be placed where they should be, and they will be rotated out frequently, and new blood will be rotated in. So you have to actually defend your trophies now.
Okay,
I like it.
Instead of hiding from the lions, you have to fight them.
Is there any change in the way points are given throughout a match, or does that still stay the same?
I believe it's still the same, at least in the beginning.
All right, because I just want to make sure, because you said like you talked about
40K.
40,000 points.
Oh,
but...
well, I was just using 40K as a
okay.
random example. Sorry if I confused anybody. I was just, 40K is like considered like the top score, so I was just
right.
like, if you get 40K, then this and that. But it's like, the cumulative score. Before your cumulative score was sort of represented as a trophy gain.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Is there any change to purple tickets or special tickets, or that's just going to stay the same?
At the moment, I believe it's going to stay the same, but we have been talking about a lot.
Get rid of it.
When I say talking, I mean like arguing. I'm on team delete the tickets.
Yes, Rhys, let's go.
So if you're
team
with me,
Team Rhys.
Rhys for CEO. Make it happen. No, please don't. I would. Oh God. Responsibility? What's that? No, thank you. We don't do that here. I get paid to watch YouTube.
And listen to podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Or no, host podcasts.
Oh, yes, host.
But yeah, exactly. But like what was I saying again? So tickets. We're talking about it. Like I said, everything that can happen everything that is in Teams is sort of now in a turbulent period where it may very soon change. It may not, but it may. And we're sort of like, this is when it comes to how we develop things, this is the time for change, because, changing something now before implementing leagues, like, it would be kind of pointless. It would like shake up nothing, and it would just sort of confuse a lot of people, maybe make a lot of people angry. But changing things in the beginning of a new system is much more agreeable, if that makes sense. Like, this is the time when we can sort of push through new ideas. But the main reason that a lot of things are unchanged is because we want to make sure this works. We've never done this before, and we're just inventing all of these formulas ourselves. So it might be that this doesn't work. It might suck. It might suck ass. I'm sorry, but it might. As far as we're concerned,
I hope not.
As far as we're concerned, it's great. But there's almost 2 billion people who have downloaded this game. So it's like, your opinions may differ. So
that's true.
Once it's out there and we know that it works, then we can start tinkering with it. Like, I say this all the time, but we are a small development team, and we just don't have the budget or the time or the manpower to really change everything at once. And obviously COVID hasn't been good to anybody, so it makes things a little bit more challenging as well. But we're doing our best, and we're hoping that you guys have been really good with the fact that Hill Climb Racing 2 is a living, breathing game. Even Hill Climb Racing 1, we released an update for Hill Climb Racing 1 today, as of the day of recording. Hill Climb Racing 1 turns 10 years old tomorrow, and we're still updating it.
Oh, wow.
So, and there's still people playing it, and people playing and us updating it. It works that way, So Hill Climb Racing 2 is here to stay for a long time, we hope. And like I said, you guys have been really supportive of the game being like a living, breathing thing. When the game started, there was no parts. There was no team modes. It was just adventure and cups with like a couple of cars, and that was it. So Hill Climb Racing 2 has come a long way, and we hope it can go a long way further.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I agree. I mean, it's like as a player, we view this as an investment in our, it's like any other hobby, like fishing or biking or anything else. We have a lot of investment in Hill Climb Racing 2, so we're happy to see it's continuing its development and moving forward. Yep.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting for everybody, and it's. I hope that this makes you guys like the top players, the ones listening to this podcast, the more hardcore, the less casual out there. I hope it gives you guys like a reason to get in there and give it your all, instead of like worrying about politics or like the meta, like, it's just the teams who are good will rise to the top and be rewarded appropriately. At least that's how we hope it will work.
I'm sure it will. I mean, it sounds great. I mean, a lot of the questions that we have written down are already answered. I know that there are some players right now that are saying, the events are a bit recycled. A lot of the tracks coming out for team events, we've seen the track, we've seen the same wheelie, we've seen the same long jumps. Is there any chance of updating what the tracks look like or the style of the team events?
Yes. Obviously, not in the beginning, but well, actually, there's a brand new, quote unquote, brand new community event, public event, I should say, starting next week, which will be the week of the update. Tractor Wars.
Tractor Wars. I'm excited for that.
Tractor. Oh, nice.
Please tell me it's not fixed part.
Please.
Parts, but you can choose a couple of different setups.
Okay, so noobs are going to beat me again.
Yeah, we want everybody to be able to have a good time, including the noobs. You get good. You call yourself a top player? Come on, man. Don't fear the noob, or you're going to drop divisions. Eh?
I do. I do fear the noob. I need my GP.
So
this event was like completely designed by the good folks over at the Tractor Wars Discord. Shout out to you guys. You're all pretty cool. But yeah, so that's one example, but I know it's still not a new event. I know that's not what you're asking. And the answer to that is yes, we know. And we're working on it. There's literally one guy who designs and does all the team events and all the public events. Just one guy. And he knows, and he's working on it.
Okay. Awesome. Look forward to it. I actually like the 2K, the 2KM time attacks that we've been having. Those are cool.
Stop, Hulk, stop. No,
I like them too.
Don't encourage it.
Hey, time attacks are great. Time attacks are where it's at. If I had my way, I'd delete all the events and just have time attack.
I like
that's also.
I like no fuel. I like multi jump. Those are really fun.
We honestly didn't think that no fuel would take off as well as it did. Like that became a metagame on its own and led to the discovery of the jump shocks being actually good. But
it's so fun.
The football sometimes we're feeling a little mean. You might notice that the name of the event sort of syncs up with the event itself.
Made to drive you crazy.
Yeah, but we also do try not to make those luck-based ones all the time. But yeah, there is new events coming. We have new ideas, and they will eventually roll out to you, hopefully sooner rather than later.
All right, perfect. Well, okay, so this question, I think it's on the minds of everyone in the community that's hopefully listening to this. But throughout the development of leagues, has there been like the feedback from the community or some of the ideas and stuff that people have proposed, has that been implemented into the creation of this new update?
Well,
will it be something also going forward?
The only reason you got leagues is because you asked for it.
Yeah, good point.
So basically everything in leagues is in some way or another based around community feedback. I can't point to any like singular ideas that we've gone like, that's good, steal that, write that down. Like we're not like that. But it's like, lots of people are saying that the matchmaking is stale at the top 10, for example. Like, how do we fix that? How can we implement new ideas? And then someone's like, maybe someone might say, why don't these teams go up and these teams go down? Or why don't we stop punishing people for actually playing the game? And then we'll be like, that's a good question. So then we sort of think about that as a concept, and then that the game designers start game designing, and they come up with new ideas for how to fix things. Then it all sort of just comes together in some sort of game designing stew, I guess. I'm you can't see me, but I'm like doing these big hand gestures of like things connecting, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's like it works like that. So there is tons of community feedback. That the whole thing is based on community feedback, basically. And hopefully, if you guys continue to provide said feedback, you will get cool new events, and you will get cool new ideas and cool new tweaks to the formula. As always.
Okay. Then
I'm just taking it all in right now. I'm
same.
excited. I'm just
still,
like,
it's overwhelming. I'm like trying to like figure out how everything works.
I mean, it's pretty simple. It's not going to like reinvent the wheel. It's just going to mean that, at least in the beginning, of course, that playing the game has meaning, and the teams who have the highest positions will deserve those positions and be rewarded accordingly. And the teams who are starting from the bottom actually have a method for success. Like they have a reason to keep going. You know, like it will take, if you play perfectly, it will take you 4 months to get from the bottom to the top.
wow.
So
that's so much better than what it is now.
right.
Yeah,
Basically
right now
it's
there's no way.
impossible.
It'd be impossible to catch like the top teams if you're a newer team.
That's why there's so many placeholder teams. Even if you've got an abandoned team that's halfway up the leaderboard, it's still better than than starting from the bottom, right? So
Right.
but now that should be gone. Like the whole idea of leagues was to keep it fresh and competitive, so that every month counts and every match is worth playing. You know, because we actually want you guys to play the game. That's supposed to be fun. You know, so that's what this is meant to do, and it's not, like I said, not going to reinvent the wheel, but it should make things more interesting. And then, as a good base, we can continue to change that or add to it. I should
What
say.
if the teams that are in, say, Division 1 now, what if two teams that match up, one of those teams gets absolutely crushed by a Reddit or a Discord or somebody, and then but they win most of their matches? Is there that one specific match? I know you said if you're playing against a top team and you still lose, you might still do pretty well. But what if you get smashed in a match versus coming in close second? Like if you barely lose, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's how well you did. Like again, let's say that the team is scored on a 1 to 10, just as a theoretical. So the team that smashed you got 10, and you got 5, right? If you got 9 in every other match except that 5, like that's not really going to punish you because it's cumulative. But if you got consistently 5, that means that you might not belong in this division, and so you'll drop potentially. So that's basically how it works. So like getting beat just the one time is never actually going to cost you a division point unless you're like right on the line. And if you're like right on the line, like it's like, well, you were either going to go up or go down. You know, like that's where you belong basically. If it's working properly. So like, and if you play a team and you lose, but they got 10 and you got 8, it's like that's still 8 points. And if you get 8 points every single time, you might even move up a division, because you might actually be in the top 10% performance-wise, you know. So it doesn't. It's not about who wins or loses. Who wins and loses is about the glory, and whoever is at like the very top of the leaderboard. But now it's about how well you do as a team and how consistent you are.
So okay, that's really interesting. So it's more about like consistency and how well you do as a team. So like if it was a close match with a team in your division, it would still count almost as a win in terms of what you gain as a team in the league.
Correct. You might even, if you have a close match with another team, just say another team that gets 10 and you get 9. At the end of that division, you might get promoted, and that team might get demoted. Like that 10 might have been a fluke. They might have gotten 110 and then a whole bunch of 1s, or 110 and then they were inactive for like 5 games. They'll drop. So
Gotcha.
it's about your performance as a team, how well you guys work together, and the fact that you actually played, you know, gave it your all and stuff. The winning and losing is still important, because obviously, you know, you've got to dunk on the people who lost, like obviously. But when it comes to your positioning, it's not that important. You will only really see like cutthroat win or lose margins on like the razor's edge of both, of like going up and going down a division. I would say there is where the knife is sharp, you know, like, so that at that place, it's like if your performance isn't good enough to definitely jump ahead into the league, or definitely not good enough to secure your position in the league, you'll be fighting really toe and nail with it. Is that the expression? Toe and nail?
Tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail. Damn it! You're fighting tooth and nail. That's the body part. You're fighting tooth and nail for your position, as it should be.
It's interesting because it works. I don't know if you know, Rhys, but there is kind of like a tournament, kind of like also seasons-based thing that goes on behind the scenes in the game, which is run by the team Nemesis. They have like their own table keeping track of who wins and who loses and stuff. And I think it's been going. Yeah, and I think it's been going for like 3 months. And what we've noticed is that those that get rewarded the most, or even win the league at the end, are those that play the most matches, rather than those that. I mean, obviously those who win the most at the end, because with the current trophy system, if you lose cups, it's bad. But at the end, like Reddit has been first in the actual game for a while now, but has never won that tournament because we can't win more than the amount of trophies we get. I think it's like 137 or whatever, but other teams get rewarded more. So it's kind of similar. It's really interesting.
It should be more fair. And like I said, if your Reddit, for example, is the top team, you get more money than anyone else. You get more gems than anyone else, and you also get that sweet swag of having like borders and stuff on your team. Everyone knows you're number one, right? That they will fear you coming, that kind of thing. But so in this way, it's like everybody, like I said, should be rewarded. I keep saying this, should be rewarded fairly,
accordingly.
Like, it doesn't matter if you're the best player in the world if you don't play. If you play once out of 15 games, doesn't matter if you're the best player in the world. You might have helped win one game. What about those other 14? So it's more of a team effort now. The team itself will be positioned where it should be.
Okay.
Hopefully, I have to keep adding hopefully, because I'm sure there will be some way for this to break.
Disclaimer.
But I have to be realistic here. I don't want to use weasel words. I want to be straight up with you guys. There's a chance this won't work. I'm hoping it does. It works on a small scale. It works when we tested it, but
we'll push it to work.
It definitely will.
Just going back on the rewards, I know I can't ask you too much, especially about like the divisions and stuff, but you were also talking about like borders and stuff like that. I want to know a little bit more about that in terms of, is it only like the teams that win each division, or only like the Canyon champions that get the border or whatever? Like, is there any other stuff? Is it only for the team? Like when you open the team that you get a special border, or do the players inside the team also get a border when you click on their name and you see them in like a public event or something that oh, this guy is in this team, and it's more like personalized?
Yeah, I'm actually not sure about that. I know that we have talked about all of those things. I do know that the team itself, if you look at the team's information, every team will have a border around their logo that basically will show what division they're in. That much is like for every team whenever you look at the team information. But as for individual players, I know we've talked about it, but I don't know if that's going to be in the release or not. But I would definitely not rule that out in the immediate future if it's not there. Okay. It might be there at launch. See, this might sound strange to you, but basically we continuously work on the update until the day of release, and then continuously work on it afterwards. So what actually gets into the release, no one knows until they make the final build and compile it and then upload it to Google and Apple. Like it's called agile development, and basically when it's done, we just out the door with it. Like we work to the last second. And I think you will, or the development team will have even more work once the update comes out and they start getting feedback on the update itself. Definitely. And that's good. We want it. We want to hear what you guys think about it. We want to hear what you want. We want to hear, like, I don't want to say deliberately, but, in a way, the rewards are kind of sparse or simple on purpose, because we want to hear what you guys think. We want to hear your ideas. We want to hear what you want. how do you want to be rewarded? What cool stuff do you want to see? And the more we hear, the more ideas you give us, the more cool things we can actually do. Like this is just me talking about something that I'd like, and that's like people who are the Canyon champions can wear a special hat or can wear a special skin. Like that would be cool. In my opinion. And like these kinds of ideas come from people like you guys and people like the guys listening to the podcast. And the more of those we have, the more we have to work with. So please share them.
And it's nice that you mentioned that, because actually, for everyone that's listening, obviously this is coming out in the Fair Play server. In the Fair Play server, and we are going to be making a channel called Leaks Discussion. So once people start listening to this and getting their ideas on what it's going to look like, or even once the actual update is out, please head over there and to the Fingersoft official server to let us and let them know what works, what doesn't, what you would like to see, what you don't like to see. Off the bat, I'm just going to tell you, Rhys, please get rid of the special tickets. I beg.
I'm hoping we can.
That is pretty unanimous among the top, I don't know, every team I ever talked to. The special tickets, I think everyone has that, it's great to get a special ticket like in a public event and everywhere else, but I think it would be cool to just do away with them, and that would be the real test to see, how the team actually performs. Because right now, if you lose to another team, you could say, oh, they had, so many special tickets that they used, and you never know.
There's always that sort of blame game. And, for us, when that was designed, because, you can't buy the tickets. So it's not like pay to win. It's like it was designed to be it was designed to be a stressor. So like your runs count. Like, when you do try to get like a world record on time trial, you might make thousands of attempts.
Right.
So you race for a few seconds and then haven't got the right line, restart. Race for a few seconds, didn't nail that jump, restart. And we didn't want teams to be like that. We wanted each run to actually mean something. And so that the winner would be not the team who had the most time to dedicate to endlessly retrying. But then, of course, as you say, people started accumulating vast amounts of these tickets, and like it really did become like a battle of attrition almost. So it's like the idea was pure, but it didn't quite work, or it's not quite working as intended. So we'll hopefully have an interesting new solution for that soon. Like I said, I'm on team kill the tickets, but
yes.
But how that actually plays out, how that plays out, you sort of like inserted fire into my mind. How that plays out is ultimately up to the developers and everyone else who's making those kinds of decisions, not me.
Yeah, because I think even with at least with the image that you're giving us of the current leagues, I think it will even be even worse with the tickets, because you will still see. Especially the top teams. I wouldn't even say the top 10. I would say like the top 5, like very much dominating most of the season, for example. They might have 1, 2, or I don't know, at most 5 tough matches where they'll need those tickets. So for the most part, they'll just be collecting, while the other, I don't know, 90 teams are going to always trying to be, getting, even if they don't win, as you said, it matters how well they do against that team. So they will want to spend tickets to get a chance at a better positioning to stay in the division or get a better reward. So I think the top teams are just, including my team, Reddit, we're just gonna, it's too much. Like we have a guy that has over almost 400 tickets.
To play devil's advocate on this topic, at least, the teams at the top, they deserve to be there. And the people at the bottom, they're the wolves circling the wagon. They're hungry. So they're going to spend more time and more effort to take that position away from Reddit. And then if Reddit gets dethroned, well, then you have to start spending your own tickets to take your position back while they're accumulating tickets at the top. Like, it's in a way, like that is part of the inherent design. But I do understand that it's not quite working as intended. But just play devil's advocate, there is some logic behind it.
I need clarification on one thing. So if Reddit plays Team Unity, for example, and and crushes them, that's going to impact the number of points that Unity gets in that matchup? Or is it because Unity played against Reddit being the top team, Unity gets the same number of points regardless of performance in that match?
Well, it depends. It depends how well Unity does.
Okay. So if they get 4K'd, then they're going to get less points than if they had, then they lost by 100 points.
Well, no, I'm not quite sure I follow you. Again, we can use the 10-point sort of system because that's easy to understand. If Reddit gets 10 points and Unity gets 9, then Unity got 9 points. So that's when it comes to their division standing, that's part of the points tally.
Okay, so my question would be
if they want to take Reddit's position at the top, at the very top, I'm talking actually in the top bracket, then they will need to outperform Reddit. That's where you need to win. Okay. But if you're just talking about moving up or down a division, or staying in a division, then the winning and the losing is not necessarily important. But the people at the very top, if you want to actually take the crown and be number one and get the highest possible rewards, you do need to win. You can't just, flunk your way to the top. That's not how it works.
Wait, so this brings another interesting question. Go ahead first.
My follow-up is, so I'm talking so let's talk about everyone in the top division would be the top 100 teams. If team number 98 matches team Reddit and loses very, very, very badly in a match, they're still going to get the same number of points for that match than if they came in a close second in that match. So if they spent a bunch of purple tickets and they made the match very even, they're going to get more or less points than if they just said, "Oh, we lost this one, let's not even try," and they just get smashed, and they're still going to earn a lot of points.
Yeah, they're still going to earn points. It's dependent on their performance. So you actually have an incentive to try even against a team that's probably going to smash you.
Yeah, because we've seen lately a lot of teams when they get matched against top teams, some people just leave the team entirely and join another team.
Yeah, they just throw. And if you do that, your team's going to drop.
Yeah, so it's pointless.
It's pointless. You still got to give it your all. Otherwise, you're going to lose your position. You might very well be the perfect rank 98 team. That might be exactly where you're supposed to be. If the matchmaking gods aligned and we somehow found your perfect position, it's 98, right? And then team 1 fights you. They're probably going to beat you. But if you just give up, then you're going to drop down, because you didn't try, and someone else has enough points to become team 98. But like I said, at the very top of the pyramid, that's where winning or losing will make all the difference, because you will have more points. It's entirely based on your score where you go. Unless you somehow get a draw. In that case, I don't know what happens, if it is even possible to draw. I haven't asked about that.
Oh, that's also true. I still want to, I don't know if you know exactly how it works, but I want to know exactly the way the point system during the league works. So because, I understand if you do well in a match, even if you lose, you'll get more points than if you got completely destroyed. But still, for example, the winning team, how much exactly do they get in terms of points?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not sure. Until that's live, that's in flux.
Okay, because that's still.
I don't know the exact number of points, or how the points are calculated. That's very back end stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys will have spreadsheets over time. Yeah. I'm going to give you guys something to figure out. It's
true.
All the guys who are ready with their Google Sheets. You know who you are. We got to give you something to do.
Okay, and another question. You mentioned how if you beat a team, you'll if you beat a team that's above you, you'll take their position. Does that mean?
Not necessarily.
Okay, not necessarily. Okay, so then never mind. That doesn't answer my question. So
if the team who's above you doesn't perform well enough throughout the whole season, then there's a chance that you will take their position.
Oh, okay. This is another thing. During the season itself, will you see teams moving around in the table?
No, I don't believe so. all calculated at the end of the season, as far
So
as
it's
I
only
know.
at the end. So if Reddit starts first, they will only know their position at the end of the season and
I
drop
believe so.
or stay accordingly.
Yeah, that's how it works, and that's also that's also why it's sort of meant to sort of make you keep trying, because you won't know what's going to happen. You won't be graded until the end. I mean, unless of course you
Wow.
keep tabs
But-
on your performance, but even then you won't know how well you've done in relation to everybody else.
So we know
Oh.
in like the next week or so, there's going to be a completely new Discord server set up called Leagues Tabulation. There's going to be a server dedicated
Quite
to tracking
possibly,
this.
yes.
Who
Quite
wins,
possibly.
who loses, where could you possibly be, how many points did you accumulate
mean,
so far?
Have you ever watched football? They do the exact same thing.
Yes.
But you have points.
Well, football kind of has points as well, but like again, it's like win or lose. But you know what I'm saying? It's like this sort of thing is trackable in a way.
So
no
all
matter
of the
what you do.
matchmakers out there, they're currently tracking the leaderboards. You still have a job in a week.
Yes, we haven't put you out of business, guys, but you're going to be more like bookies. You're going to be like pure speculation until the month rolls over.
But that's cool. There's a lot of strategy still involved because you can still track a little bit. You can still try to understand who's ahead of you, who's behind you, that kind of thing.
So
exactly.
Rhys, can you once you finish a match, whether win or lose, do you get told as a team how many points you got, even though there's nowhere telling you like the accumulated score?
I'm not sure. I think maybe. I don't know actually. Because again, playing developer builds, they're a bit buggy, and they also tell way more information than actually ends up in the final build. So I'm not sure about that one.
Will we still get rewards in each match, like the current rewards?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Because I think it's almost, I don't know, for me at least, it gives me a little bit of anxiety, like spending an entire season not knowing how well we're doing, even if we're winning our matches. It's like, what are we getting? How are we placing?
That sounds like a you problem.
Yes.
Like, have you?
Oh God!
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and claim that we're reinventing the wheel. Like, have you played any other game? Because this is very common sort of division bracketing, reset monthly or bi-weekly. It's not new. We didn't make this idea up.
No, I mean it is new to me because I'm okay. Again, maybe I'm not getting the right picture.
No, you're the ideal person because you only play Hill Climb Racing, so I can forgive you.
No.
Actually, I do.
Okay.
That's
for example, look at a football league. For example, okay, look at La Liga. You have 20 teams, and each team has to play every other team twice. So you have a total of 38 matches because you count yourself out. There's 19 teams times 2, 38. For every match you play, if you win, you get 3 points. If you tie, you get 1 point. And if you lose, you get 0 points. So regardless of whether the table at the end of the season resets and everyone is back to 0, for example, over the period of the season, you know you're standing. If you've won 3 matches, you have 9 points versus somebody that maybe lost all 3 of their matches. So you still know your progression. You know how well you're doing. You know your placing. You can probably expect or predict where you're going to end at the end of the season based on your progression. That's why I'm a little bit...
You can kind of do that, but you're still guessing. You don't know how well every other team is doing unless they choose to share that information with you.
Right.
So,
you could have a team that lost 2 and still almost got as many as the winner.
Exactly. Like it's quite possible. If absolutely everybody in your division throws, like you might move up. This is, obviously completely unlikely. And I think most of the drama, as always, will be concentrated in the top 50 because that's
top 10.
Top 10 even, yeah. But yeah, it's like you just have to deal with that, where you won't know until the match rolls over. That's just how it is. So I'm sorry if this causes you any anxiety, but you don't necessarily need to focus. Like, you've got to throw it all away, man. You got to stop worrying. You just got to treat every match as a proper match. You got to make sure you win, and you got to make sure you win hard. You got to make sure everybody in the team does a good job. Because if your team has people who aren't doing a good job, you're going to be replaced by another team who has people doing a good job. this should, in theory, make sure every team is exactly where they deserve to be.
Okay, so I just want to make
it benefits Reddit or Discord or Unity or somebody. It benefits them more to absolutely destroy their opponents versus just saying, okay, this is going to be an easy W. Let's just run a few tickets and call it a day. So it actually does benefit them to smash every opponent as hard as they can.
Yeah, but I mean, again, they should be playing opponents in their same bracket, so it shouldn't always be a fatality kind of thing. It should hopefully be a fair match. Then again, the top 5 are like pretty scary if you compare their skill against someone else. But more or less, yeah. There's no more of this. We're gonna lose. Let's just throw. Or we're gonna win. Easy boys. Let's relax. Like that kind of behavior will be punished.
Wow.
Essentially.
Wow. Okay.
So play the game and play it properly.
Okay.
Get good.
So just to make it clear one last time for me at least, there is no public way to see every other team's performance or yourselves during the season.
I don't believe so. No.
That's kind of cool though, because it's going to rely.
Rhys, you're going to give me a heart attack.
We're going to have stats guys on the team tracking not only our performances individually, but where we might end up on the leaderboard, where we think we might end up based on talking with other teams, how they do. I think it's going to be cool.
Rhys, I'm just saying this, and this is a joke, so don't take it seriously, but you're going to make Discord and Unity start a new alliance.
Well, I mean, what good's that going to do other than sharing information? Like when you guys fight, you still have to give it your all. Like these alliances will mean nothing essentially unless you guys decide you want to start like attempting to fix the matching boards, and then that's going to get leaked, and then you're all going to get banned.
I mean, information at this moment seems so valuable because you can
ban them all.
Everyone is.
Okay, new idea. We're actually banning the top 50.
Ban them all, except USA is actually probably the cleanest team.
Just keep them at the top.
The cleanest, the cleanest, most fair team.
Now the number 1 team.
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Actually, maybe number 2 underneath Tomato Gang. Actually, funny side story. One of my teammates mentioned a terrible missed opportunity for April Fools where I should have made Tomato Gang number 1 on the leaderboard. I'm kicking myself for missing that one.
Oh, that would have been good. I don't know. Did you see the prank we pulled with Unity where we merged, and I'm doing quotation marks, with Unity, who are second?
I heard about that.
That was such a terrible joke. Nobody laughed at it.
You found it terrible, but you don't know how many. Okay, because you're in a top team, so it like spread like fire when somebody knew that. Oh no, they're not merging; it's a joke. But you would be surprised how many people messaged me. They're like, "Please tell me it's a joke. You're ruining the game. Like this is horrible. Like nobody will be able to beat you. Like why are you doing this?"
See, these kinds of things will actually not really be important anymore in League.
Why?
Well, because it's about your own team. Like, oh no, Unity and Reddit merged. Like, okay, maybe they'll be number 1, but you'll still get you still have to fight for where you are. You still have to make sure that you actually are where you deserve to be. If Reddit and Unity merge and they become the top team, well, they deserve to be the top team.
That's only one match lost.
Yeah. And like the number one team in the world should be absolute killers. Like they should be like gods of the game, right? You don't start matchmaking in Street Fighter 2 and then cry when you lose because you fought against someone who's like the best in the world. I'm not going to go to Evo and cry because I got whooped. It's the same thing. And yeah, so if you lose against Reddit, like your team matches against this god team of Reddit and Unity, for example, and you lose, but you still did really well and you gave it your all, they're not going to match with you again for the entire season. They can't. They're going to go off and destroy 15 other teams' lives. But you may actually have done well enough to be moved up to number 2. And so you're second. And of course you're second because you lost to this god team and they beat 15 other teams. Like that makes sense, right?
Sense, but it still means that, at least for me, my opinion, I don't know. Hulk, tell me what you think, because you're also involved. But I think this is gonna make teams merge again, like we saw a few months ago. Because it's precisely that. It's gonna mean
we're gonna see
to be the best team, you need to merge.
We're gonna see teams ranked 50 to 100 do as many mergers as they possibly can in the next few weeks. Or they could just say, I'm done with this team. We're never going to advance to where we need to be. Or if you're ranked 200 or 300 or 400 or 150, you're either going to have to go to a better team or merge in order to compete. And we're going to, or not only that, but we're going to see, it's going to be reactive. It's going to be, you know what? These top teams keep merging. They keep merging. They keep merging. We have to merge in order to keep up with that. So ultimately, you're just creating better teams in the end.
That's to say. Like if you look at like even real sports, that's what they do. They trade players, and even like which team these top players are in. Of course, they're going to be like the top teams on a leaderboard are going to be concentrations of the top players in the game. Because if they aren't concentrations of the top players in the game, then they're not going to be at the top of the leaderboard. We can't control where you move. We don't consider players merging teams or moving teams or positions to be cheating or unfair. It's just players going where they want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm not complaining. I for me, it's fine. It's just I think you'll see, at least this is the way I see it, just from like a bigger overview of the community side, like the bigger public is. Like, I think for the most part, you'll see some people, they don't like mergers because, it kills some teams or it becomes unfair. Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, I don't care.
That's my official stance. Cry more. Like,
for me, I see it as an opportunity because think about how many American teams are out there.
Exactly.
40 to 200 to 300. We could say, hey, you know what? Now's our time to join USA. Let's see how far we can go. So if you're listening, hit me up on Discord.
You're never off the clock when it comes to recording, huh?
No.
But I think that the general public doesn't care. Like the top 100 teams are this monolith that the average person never even considers being able to go up against. Let's be real here. Most of this drama is within the top 100, 150 teams. And most of the people complaining on social media about team mergers are just salty because they're not good enough to get accepted into a good team. Or the players that were carrying them left.
True. Because they want to join the best team to get the more rewards.
Exactly. And, you will get more rewards if you're in the best team. But if you let the team down, the team's going to drop. It's not going to be in the best team anymore. So, you will be rewarded appropriately, hopefully.
Okay. And is there going to be any change to teams themselves in terms of the number of players per team, or is it going to stay the same as 50?
It's going to stay at 50, at least for now.
Okay. Is there a chance that's going to change in the future?
Maybe. There isn't really any huge calls for it to be changed.
That's true. Yeah, 50 is a good number.
Most people think 50 is a good number. Some people are like, we want 100 so we can create a giga team. And it's like, yeah, okay, fine, but also no. Like the problem with
that would be insane. Too much.
Like giga teams makes it really impossible to matchmake properly. 50 is a really good number where like a lot of it's a lot of people. 50, but it's a manageable amount. So only like the biggest communities really need to actually split. Like Reddit, because there's thousands of people there, or Discord because there's thousands of people there. But most people's teams are well within 50. Like, most teams in the game are just, dad, his son, Uncle Jimbo, and like the kid from across the street. Like, they're pretty small, most teams in the game, to be perfectly honest with you. And we do have to consider them as well, because they are just as valuable to us as the hardcore players.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
And we are actually like incredibly blessed to have such a wide range of audience. Like, we have so many other developers ask us what sorcery we have employed to somehow have a game that's popular with both casuals and mid-core and hardcore players, and we're like, we
I don't know. Luck.
we just made a cartoon racing game, and people kind of like it. so yeah, we're really happy that we have such a wide range of people, and we sort of have to juggle their interests. And in fact, we actually have something for the people who don't even play teams in this update as well, just as a bit of sugar on top.
Oh, can you give it? I was just about to ask that. Is there anything else in terms of this update that's not team events related that's gonna change the game or add to it?
Well, like I said before, there's improvements to anti-cheat, but this is actually a real, proper, big improvement, which will hopefully be really good. And
what can you tell us about that?
Are we going to see a bigger ban wave?
Possibly, yes, but I'm not going to tell you anything, because the more I tell you, the more hackers take notes and figure out how to get around it.
Don't. Just ban them.
But yeah, just know that we are improving it, and this is a very big, significant, and expensive improvement that has taken up a lot of time.
Wow,
and effort, and hopefully it works out very nicely. But yeah, there's also a new map, new adventure map.
Adventure.
Yep, new adventure map.
Is it going to be one of the hardcore, really hard maps, or one of the casual ones?
Somewhere in between.
In between. Okay, interesting.
A lot of people didn't really pick up on this, but you might have noticed that this month's trophy road looks a little bit different. That was a hint.
Oh, bunnies and burnouts is what I know.
Yeah, but the actual look of the trophy road. Go ahead and open the game up.
I literally just did that. Okay, so is this? I was just about to ask, what's the theme around the adventure track?
Well, yeah, no one noticed. They're just like, oh, okay, it's that the the new map. Well, this is a spoiler podcast, so I'll just go ahead and tell you. The new map is called Gloomvale.
Gloomville.
Vale.
Vale. How do you spell that?
Gloomvale.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's, I don't want to say it's spooky, but it's I don't know, atmospheric. Maybe it's kind of cool. I like it.
Does it have interactive things like how you have the wind on? Okay. Can you tell us what it is, or
No. I'm keeping the adventure map and a secret. I like it very much when people figure out the adventure maps for themselves. The big rush of everyone figuring out all the cool stuff and how to get past the choke points is a joy. And I'm going to reserve that selfishly for myself. But it is a cool new map. I like it a lot. I've been playing it ever since we were playing dev builds that literally crashed the entire game as soon as you exited the map. But I've been enjoying it. It's good. It's like I said. It's kind of it's like a spooky forest. Just take a look at your trophy road. It's coming very soon anyway. By the time you hear this podcast, it's very cool. I like it, and hopefully
awesome.
It's it's not so brutal as the last few punishing maps that we have done for everybody else. And also, there's a couple new cups, or at least
as well.
Awesome.
With the same theme.
A couple, so more than one.
I think there's at least one new cup, but it has a couple of different races in it. I'm not actually 100% sure if there's more than one cup, but there is at least one.
Okay, is there a new car coming out anytime soon?
No.
Okay.
When you say anytime soon, I assume you mean within the next couple of months, and that's the answer to that is no.
Within the next 6 months.
Maybe.
Okay. We'll take it.
Maybe.
I'll take that.
We definitely are working on new vehicles.
What about a new part?
No. Not coming in this update anyway. But we do have prototypes for new parts. New parts is kind of tricky. You think you want new parts, but every time we add a new part, not only does it change the meta, but also, which is fun, but also it increases the gacha pool, the
GP, the garage pool by a lot.
The garage pool, the gacha pool. How do I explain this? So basically, whenever how the items are awarded randomly from a chest, and that each chest pulls from a random pool of parts. So each part has like a percentage, right? So if you've got 10 parts, you've got a 1 in 10 chance of getting the part you want. But if you've got 11 parts, you've got a 1 in 11 chance. And so every time we add new parts, it vastly increases this pool of loot, which makes it even harder to get the parts that you want. And we are very, very aware of that. So it's something we don't do lightly. And also, we need to test every single track and every single cup and every single adventure map to death to make on like every single possible upgrade level with every single possible vehicle and every single combination we can think of. We have to test a new part. That's why it took so long for the Afterburner, because it had to be properly tested. So again, it's like not something that we do lightly. It's a very big change, adding a new part.
No, it makes sense, yeah. And also the way they behave.
4 tuning parts never happening.
Okay.
that would break the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I have. I'm still waiting
so
for
defeated.
like certain parts. I'm desperate to get rotator turbo, air control on the rotator, certain things on the rotator. I can max them if I use scrap, but I'm really just waiting for the chest to give me those parts so I don't have to use scrap. But yeah, I'm getting so close to feeling like I'm approaching the home stretch. I'm just under 9100 GP now, and I can't wait to get that finished.
Good luck.
I still feel like I'm miles and miles away.
Yeah, and just think, if we add a new tuning part, that's not only going to increase the GP, like it's going to increase the GP for every single vehicle. So you're going to have a lot of work to do.
Right.
But yeah, that is something that is coming eventually. I am sure of it. Same with new vehicles, we're working on them. But in this update at least, you will get a new map, and you will get a new cup, and you will get a fancy new multiplayer mode.
Wow.
Whoa. This is new.
He's talking about leagues.
I mean leagues.
Oh.
Sorry, matchmaking system, I should have said, not multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
That's later.
Oh, okay. Just for a future podcast.
That will require another podcast entirely.
Wow. Say that again.
That again.
You trolled yourself, Hulk.
Yeah. So there's a new multiplayer mode coming eventually.
I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I played the
Hulk.
5th. Can someone in Finland plead the 5th? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I think that's only US stuff.
But the movies told me I could.
All right.
Wow.
Well,
I mean, this is wow. I'm still just like taking it all in and thinking, what are my follow-up questions that I know I'm going to have in like 2 hours?
Yeah, just if you got anything left, come on. We're towards the end of the podcast now, so anything
I'm
left?
already like I need to like start taking notes and analyze everything you said.
You're
and
already
start
spiraling
thinking
into depression.
Yeah, really. No, I'm starting to. I'm gonna be that guy doing the job of. Oh, okay. How do we keep track of everybody? How am I gonna know where I'm positioning during the season?
Oh, here's a
I'm
question.
excited,
So if we're approaching the end of the season and I'm on team like maybe 98 or 99, could I possibly become like a mercenary and join Reddit, who I know has only 49 players? Will they allow like someone's alt account to join the last day to get a 1.5 million reward? Or I'm sure there's nothing you can really do about it. It's up to the team to decide who joins the team. But potentially you could have some new mercenaries to get those rewards.
I'm not entirely sure if we're going to, because like we do have we do have protection like even now to sort of stop people from basically murking rewards. In like you can't if you join a match that's like almost like that's midway, you won't get anything for that. You can't join. But I'm not sure exactly when the cutoff is going to be. for switching teams and the rewards you get. We are aware that could be very easily exploited.
Yes.
Like you could create a new account and just add it to the team and get the money. But I'm not exactly sure what the cutoff point is, so I don't want to answer and be wrong. But we are aware of that.
Just a suggestion: you could make it like based on how many matches you've played for a team. So you have to play, I don't know, like a minimum of 75% of the leagues of the season with that team to get the rewards.
We could, yes, but I'm not sure exactly what they have done. So I have to avoid that question, not quite so stealthily.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Yep, I mean, we're always thinking in terms of fair play.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
It makes sense. Hopefully, this will really de-incentivize cheating.
Yes, I agree.
I hope so.
The leaderboards are living things, right? So if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you drop off. You can't just cheat your way to the top.
And like you said in the past, just as you create new stuff to stop people from doing them, the cheaters come up with new ways to ruin the experience for everybody else.
Yeah, they really should focus their energy and apply to become game developers or get good. They should do that first, and then they should actually just become game developers instead of ruining everyone else's day. Stop that. Just stop. If you're hacking, don't do it.
Well, Rhys, I'm still in shock. I'm gonna have to after this sit down and process everything you've told me. But for my side, at least, I have nothing left to ask. To be honest,
I mean, it's been almost 2 hours.
More questions than answers.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, I think half of the questions that I wrote down were answered in the first 3 or 4 minutes. So I think we have a pretty good handle on what we're looking at now. So now it's just we need it now. Let's get it started.
Well, it's coming very, very soon. Like I said, hopefully on the 22nd, you guys can start enjoying looking at the UI, which is not actually functional until we turn on the matchmaking. But there is a reason why we are releasing this towards the end of the month, obviously, because next month we'll roll over to the first proper season.
Awesome.
But yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. As I said before, last time I was on the podcast, this is the time, guys, for Tomato Gang to rise. This is going to be the beginning of Tomato Gang supremacy.
Yeah, Tomato Gang 2.0. Here we go.
Yes.
I'm excited for Reddit versus Tomato Gang.
Soon.
In 4 months.
Yeah, excited for 4 months. Oof. I'm not actually going to dispute the fact that we'll probably be in the Division 7. I was going to get all uppity, and then I'm like, wait, yeah, nah.
All right. Well, I mean, honestly, Rhys, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity of announcing this.
Oh, thanks for
really appreciate the support.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you.
No, thanks for letting me on. It's always fun to I'd much rather break the news to you guys who actually care and who are actually genuinely excited for the things that we put our heart and soul into making, rather than some sort of dry press release. That's just boring. But yeah, I'm glad I could share it with you first. I'm just sad we can't play.
As are we
yet, but soon.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, hopefully. We'll be here. We're waiting.
I'll see you in 4 months.
For everyone else listening as well, Hulk and I have had to keep quiet about this all this entire time. And it's been at least for me, it's been eating me up. I'm like, oh, I want to tell everybody. There's an update coming.
Well, now you can.
It's been it's been coming soon since our very first podcast, even before that. So it's always been coming soon. Now they're here. Please go to the Fair Play server, Fingersoft server. We have leagues discussion. And by the time this episode is released, We're going to have the league's discussion channel already open, so hop on over and let us know what you think.
All right. Well, from my side, that's it. I don't know, Rhys, if you have any other secrets you like to pop up.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Hulk, as well, for being here. And we'll see you on the next one, hopefully for Hill Climb Racing 3.
Yes, sounds good. Or the new multiplayer. All right. We'll talk to everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.